Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos, because Austin will be joining me minutes from now from London. This is how the show is looking like tonight. But before that, let me quickly talk about this one that happens to be the Women's UEFA's Champions League. Chelsea, they've been knocked out by Barcelona. Remember the players were talking tough yesterday. Hansen, who said that when they get to Camp Nou, obviously the fans will back them up, and they were able to do that. And of course, she was the one who scored the first goal before Chelsea equalized. It ended 1-0. But then, after winning first leg 1-0, it ended 2-1 on aggregate. So Barcelona, for the fourth time in 5 seasons, they are in the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Asisa Shola, of course, started for Barcelona in that game, and she spent 60 minutes on the field of play. So Barcelona, again, they are in the finals of the UEFA Women's Champions League. All right, this is what the show is looking like tonight. We'll be talking about the NBA. Yes, NBA tonight, simply because you have the Milwaukee Bucks out of it. And for the 6th time, a team have been able to beat a top seed in the NBA history. Miami Heat responsible for that. New York Knicks already made it to the playoffs. So both of them will be facing each other in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. Starting game 1 is on Sunday. We'll be talking about that, details of that. Of course, Giannis outburst after they lost 4-1 in the first round. All right, we'll also be talking about English Premier League, of course, games currently going on. Manchester United took the lead. It was Jadon Sancho scored the first goal 7 minutes into the game against Tottenham Hotspur. We'll give you details of that on the program as the game unfolds. Also, we will touch down on currently what's going on in Algeria. Constantine, you know, the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, that's where it is taking place. That's where it's taking place. And of course, the Golden Eaglets will be thinking of how they can break the duck. It's been 10 years, 16 years since flying the Golden Eaglets won the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. So it's been a long time, and they're going for the 10th edition of the tournament, and it's a 16th edition, but then the Golden Eaglets haven't won it since 2007. That's what Nduka Ubade and his boys will be trying to do in Algeria. And of course, the first game starting on Sunday. But Austin is ready to join us. Austin, how you doing?
What a greetings, Cecilia. Good to be on the show. I heard you giving updates in that game between Tottenham and Manchester United. It's now 2-0. The goal drought is over for Marcus Rashford. He had a fine run, composed finish, you know, to give Manchester United a comfortable lead as that game goes into halftime. So big times right here in the English Premier League. Cecilia, everyone is still talking about what Manchester City did to Arsenal yesterday. What a story. The Gunners, all I hear these days in the media when Arsenal fans speak, I hear mathematically it's not over, you know. So I don't know, but when you had so much, you know, chance, you know, to extend your lead against Southampton and West Ham, did do good to the Arsenal, but they're keeping faith, Cecilia. I like what you also said as regards what's going on with the NBA playoffs. What a story. The heat of the moment, the Miami Heat. I listened to Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I understand his frustration, you know. Every time in the media we talk about winning, and he had to tell us not about you winning all the time, but Giannis needs to realize that it was an upset for a team that is seated lower than the Bucks to actually put up the sort of display that they did. They truly really did get us talking.
Yeah, of course, it's going to get us talking. And of course, that's what we're starting off the program with tonight, talking about the NBA, the games that went down. Especially our focus is on, you know, because the Bucks won 2 seasons ago. They were champions before the Warriors won it last season. And you expected them, you know, Austin, when you mentioned the Miami Heat had to go into the play-in tournament to get into the playoff. So that's how it was, seeded 8th. You know, coming into this one. Don't say it's not the first time we're having it, but it's the first time in over a decade. The last team who did it was actually Philadelphia 76ers. That was like 2012 when they took out Chicago Bulls that was top seed. Also, they were seeded 8th. So this is not something that is common. And I love giving to Gabe Vincent, of course, the Tigers. Shout out to him on this particular game. The pass he gave to Jimmy Butler for them to be able to tie that series. And then it went into overtime. And of course, I think he did a a fantastic job in this particular match because it was not just the points he had, 6 assists, and of course he made some of the crucial ones to Jimmy Butler. And of course, at the end of the game, he had 22 points. I'm talking about game visit. But then Jimmy Butler was, that no wonder he's called Jimmy Buckets. You know why his name is like that. 42 points on the night. A fantastic performance he had on the night. Not just only that 42 points, he also had 8 rebounds. And for Giannis, it was a spectacular performance for him as usual. 20 rebounds on the night and also 38 points. That was big enough. And also the rebounds he had, you combine what Jimmy Butler had and also Bam Adebayo had 20, 10 and 8 for each of them. But Giannis Antetokounmpo had 20 in all, but that wasn't enough because in this particular match, he missed about 13 free throws. I mean, Giannis on his day wasn't at his best, but then when you have a player who's been able to put up 38 points, you expect more from other teams. So Chris Middleton came to the party also with 33 points. Drew Holiday, who did not even allow Jimmy Butler to do anything, he was focusing on guarding Jimmy Butler. He ended up having just 16 points. But I think give it to Gabe Vincent on the night because of his performance he had for the team. So, Austin, when you look at Milwaukee Bucks, I mean, top seed team, the fine run they had in the season, I understand why Giannis Antetokounmpo wasn't happy, when it was actually a failure, because he said this is not the first time he's hearing that question. He was asked last time when he also went out. That was even better in the semifinals. But this first run, a top seed, I mean, former champions, they waited for almost 50 years before they won their first championship, so they're not going to wait for another one. But so you wouldn't blame Giannis when he put up 38 points, 20 rebounds on the night, which was big enough. But somehow, that game 4-1, that's almost a sweep.
Made me remember what my dad told me when I became a teenager. He said sometimes it will be so easy for you to win, but to sustain success is the problem, And I think that's what Giannis was trying to say to the media when he was asked the same question that they asked him last year. I mean, particularly when you are up there, Cecilia, it's so difficult, and people just want you to maintain that standard. I feel for the Bucks. I didn't want them to go out. Giannis Antetokounmpo, in some way, also has Nigeria in him, and he reps us when he wants to. So it would have been good to still have the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I think it feels better having Gabe Vincent and Bam Adebayo still going on at the tournament, I think it was over for the Bucks from Game 3 when they lost at home, and Giannis was missing in that one due to injury. The difference between the Miami Heat team and the Bucks team is the team play. You could tell, look at the combined scores between the players from the Miami Heat. You could tell that there was great teamwork, there was coordination, and they didn't show respect to the Bucks, So it did it for them, and it will be good for them to us to see how far they can go in that conference when they take on the Knicks. But they should be proud of their success already. And I think also the Bucks, they told a beautiful story, and the track of Giannis has been, all over international media. It was telling us that, look, with sports, it's not about winning all the time. Sometimes just participating is enough for the love of the game.
Yeah, it's enough, but then it's not enough for most people. Let's take a listen to Giannis Antetokounmpo talking about this particular game on, what failure is all about, and of course what success is all about, and also him talking about Jimmy Butler didn't let them, into the game because on the night he was all buckets.
Failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's going to win. And this year, somebody else is going to win. Simple as that. We're going to come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures. No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one. Maybe we could have done some, I don't know, maybe double teaming more, try to make him pass the ball. Maybe, I don't know, switch the matchup for a little bit, give Drew a break, 2-3 minutes. But I don't think as a team we made the right, or we didn't make as many adjustments as we could.
Yeah, that's Giannis right there, talking about the game itself, and also the fact that Michael Jordan, how many seasons he had in the NBA, and of course how many championships he won, so that doesn't mean a failure. So Austin, was he having reactions from Gabe Vincent? Of course, he was excited about his performance in this particular game, and not just that, when he has his teammates actually praising him for what he has been able to do for the team this season. I mean, Vincent had to, dig deep, had to put in his best performance in the fourth game. They understand what it means. They didn't want to make the mistake the Lakers make. They had the time to close it on 4-1, but somehow to go 3-1 up against Memphis Grizzlies. But on the night, LeBron James did not turn away. He had 15 points on the night. But somehow, when you have Miami Heat, they have the game in their hands. They didn't want to make it a 3-2. They just needed to close out the game and then have some time to rest before Sunday when they will be facing New York Knicks.
Very important, Cecilia. When you're playing this series, you want to win convincingly, so your opponent that is gearing up to come against you will understand your quality. And then it's also good for momentum. I'm particularly pleased with what Gabe Vincent posted. He combined for about 42 points with Bam Adebayo. You also mentioned the role the other teammates played, and I also totally agree that it was good teamwork that did it for the Miami Heat. Let's listen to reaction from the Miami Heat, and then we'll continue with the show.
We've lost faith in ourselves. We've kept it pretty tight-knit within our locker room and within what we believe in ourselves and what we can do. And we had faith in our ability to execute down the stretch. Like I mentioned, we've been in a lot of close games this season. We knew we could make a run, and if we could just cut it to 10 or cut it to 6. And as we did that and started putting things together, it all came along.
Y'all don't see the work that this man has put in to get here. Even when he first got here on the court with a slightly torn knee, and still out there trying to win a spot. And the fact that he won his spot and, still put that work in and, had some of the biggest moments in the series and throughout the season. So, for me, it's just one of those things where you can tell he's locked in. He came to work today with his hard hat and his lunch pail. So, I'm just happy to have him on my team.
Gabe has been incredible at throwing those passes from out of bounds, which is tough because he had GA right in front of him. But I would like to say that Gabe did a great job of just running the team as a unit tonight. He was a big part in this dub, and I'm just so happy that we got one on the road. That Drew wasn't taking a body off of me. He wasn't going to shoot the gap. He wasn't going to do any of that. So I said, I guarantee you whenever I turn his corner, he's going to be locking and trailing. He has no choice but to be behind. He trusted me in that moment, as he has done multiple times, even whenever I told him I was going to shoot the 3 the time before. And he was just like, go ahead, man, take us home. So all in all, we did that, and we handled it in overtime.
Handling all so well, and of course, Bam Adebayo having a triple-double on the night, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and of course, 10 assists. And for the Heat right now, semifinals of the Eastern Conference Series, they will be up against the New York Knicks, who had to close out the game against the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. That's how that series ended. All right, that's what we'll leave it up for the NBA, of course. Trust us, as it's getting hotter when it comes to the players, we'll bring more of the NBA to you guys, just to have a feel of what's currently going on. Of course, our focus is usually on what we love here, talking about the Tigers players, and of course, those who have Nigerian descent. So those are the guys we'll be talking about, basically. Gabe Vincent, congratulations to him being able to do it. We'll just see if Mike Brown can actually do it against the Golden State Warriors. But that's going to be a tough one, because right now he's a 3-2. You've lost 3 after going 2 games up. Oh, really looking good. Austin, so let's quickly go to the under-17. And, of course, you know what's happening with the Golden Eaglets. I mean, it's been a long time. We celebrated something. I think the last time was the likes Ian just set, right? That's the last time we've celebrated something. It's been a while. But then you have this crop of players coached by Nduka Ogbade right there. They're constant time preparing. They were supposed to have a pre-camping in Germany, but they couldn't do that. But they had to go, you know, a week ahead before the tournament starts to prepare very well in Constantine, Algeria, where you have the tournament taking place, talking about the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, young stars right there. The players are ready. And, of course, you know how it is for Nigeria. You will call it is a development, but then but then when you have the federation itself telling them, we are charging you to go win it, it's hard to say.
I'll tell you this, Cecilia, a former board member of the NFF called me sometime last week. I was like, Austin, why you try to say these competitions are developmental? Can you also let these boys know that whenever they wear the colors of Nigeria, that they must give 100%? I'm truly, when I say it's developmental, I'm trying to charge persons who are responsible for these young talents to give what they need to give at that level for the growth and development that they need. Because look, it's foundational. If we don't do the right things and we put these guys together and say, go to Constantine and just win, at this level, it shouldn't be about winning. Yes, if we win, we'll celebrate it, but let there be positives, you know, that comes out of it. So let us be able to see progression. Let us know of a transition plan, you know, after Under-17, what's next for these boys, you know, and all of that. I like the talent going to Algeria for a lot of reasons. I see a lot of young talents. There's a guy or two that are in secondary school, that are in SS2. They're in this team. I love Nduka Ogbade. You know, I know him personally. We're close. He talks about football development with a passion. I understand him when he talks about developmental football, and you can feel the passion whenever you're with Nduka Ogbade. I've been covering him right from when he was covering. He was coaching grassroots team at the Ojo Barracks, at the Keja Cantonment, you know, and he has grown. And you want to talk about his football experience, he's got it also. So these youngsters are in very good hands with Nduka Ogbade. So let's wish them well. Let's hope that they get us talking in the right way. If they win, it's fantastic. Cecilia, by the way, I think it was Victor Osimhen set in 2015 that won the last World Cup. Yeah, and it's not bad. We love it. You know, look at what we are saying about Victor Osimhen now.
Yeah,
we can tell the story. We understand the progress, the transition Osimhen has made to where he is now. It was just in 2015 he was winning the Under-17. Now he's about to lead Napoli to win a record Scudetto. That is progress. Let's not just take boys who will go win competition and then 5-6 years later we are struggling to remember their names. That's what I'm just trying to say each time I charge administrators that it's developmental. But I think this team will do so well in Algeria. I'm rooting for them 100%. Yeah.
I think they'll do so well too, because they're going into this championship as champions of Waffle B. So going by that and what they did to cut the vote, winning in that semi-final 3-1, and not just that, went on Burkina Faso in the final 2-1. It tells you how good these boys can be. So when you're going into a tournament as champions, you obviously want to maintain that momentum. But then let's just quickly run through the players that will be prosecuting these games for Nigeria. The numbers of that, this final squad is out. It's been released. If we can take a look at that quickly before we go on a break. The players are going to be in this particular tournament. All right, there you have them. You are from the goalkeepers, Richard Odo, Temilo Lua, Adelake, and Gift Ide. Then you also have, these are the clubs they are playing for, clubs of academies, HB Football Academy, Box 22 Box Football Academy, and Paul E Football Academy. These are the goalkeepers. So let's move on quickly to other players. We'll go to the midfield if we have that, or the defenders if we have that. I'll quickly run through them. The midfielders, you have Haruna Abdullahi, you have Umar Abubakar, Ife Oluwaporuku. You also have Hope Linus and Amangu Adonka and Simon Kletus. These are the players, of course, you see in the academies where these players are playing. So you don't have any players from the league. Quickly go to the midfield. Musa Akinfewa, Usman Owoyemi, and of course Matthew Kingsley, who happens to be from Bookhouse Football Academy, Triple 44 Academy. That's where the other guy is from. Look at the forwards: Abubakar Abdullahi from Jeka United, Precious Williams, Charles Agada, Jubri Aziz, Chukum Ogbadibo, Light AK, and of course Favor Daniel. Light AK is becoming a very popular guy right now because everyone has been talking about him and of course his performance. So these are the players you have that will be prosecuting that. Of course, there you have the defenders: Yahaya, Emmanuel, Tochukwu, and of course Quadri Dewale. So these are the defenders you have for that. But we need to go on a break. When we come back, of course, we'll take a look at the fixtures for the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria, how they are going to prosecute the game starting from the group stage. Yeah, welcome back. Austin, of course, you saw the names of the players. I believe maybe when the tournament starts or after the final, if Nigeria is able to win it, some of the names will be names we can definitely remember for a long time. I know Light AK, I mean, have been seeing the buzz on social media about him, how fantastic of a player he is. I hope he can also replicate that, you know, when it starts on Sunday, in the first game on Sunday against Zambia.
I love it, Cecilia. You know, when you talk about the grassroots, I come out, I stand attention, and I listen with, you know, so much rapt attention. And I'm listening to those names. It charges me once again to charge the administrators, because if we have like a proper schools program, we'll probably have been hearing about these guys. Their schools will be so proud that, oh, they are going to represent the country. And at the end of the day, if this program is sustained, we will keep that circle going and the production of young talents won't stop, you know. So I like it. You know, I've kept some of the names in my head, watching out for them at a competition, but because I strongly encourage teamwork at this level, I just pray that the entire team will do so well. Francis Archie is the media officer of the Golden Eaglets. He's right there in Algeria. Joins us now live on the program. Francis, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Good evening. Good to have you too.
Awesome. Good to have you guys. Yeah, good to have you on the show. So what's going on? What update do you have for us?
Well, we are settling down to Constantine. The city is very good, beautiful weather. We're thinking that it was going to be very, very cold. But somehow, just like the weather in Jos, maybe Kaduna. So the players they're already adapting to the weather.
Awesome. These are young talents, you know. Do they understand the mission in Algeria?
Yes, they understand the mission. One is that I heard you guys talking about developmental program. Yes, football is at this stage is actually for developmental purposes. But at the same time, you know that when you play for the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria at this stage, you are also looking at to follow the footsteps of your elder brothers that have done it before you, so that they can at least follow their footsteps. You're talking about the likes of Bito Sime, talking about the likes of Samuel Chukwueze. What Coach Nduka Agbade has really done, one is to tell these boys his own stories. He tells them stories. Yesterday we had lectures. We had lecture for about 1.5 hours, talking about football science. It's no longer formation, but it is information. That is not what you are thinking. It is the information that is passed to you that you must reenact on the pitch. Training sessions and also during the football matches itself. And beginning from the game against Zambia on Sunday, we know that we're playing against a team that is very formidable, very athletic, very energetic. They're also champions of Kosafa region. And on Monday, here in Algeria, they defeated Senegal 4-2. It was actually 4-0 before Senegal rallied around to score 2 goals to make it look more respectable. So we are playing against a side that is very, very good. And these players have been imparted, they've been taught that you don't underrate anything. Go in and play your game. The mission or the philosophy of a Coach Nduka Agbade's football philosophy.
We'll try to get Francis back on the show. But Cecilia, I'm already loving some of the things he's talking about. And when you have Coach Nduka,
you should start making use of the space between you so that you can really get the ball into the net. So that is what the players have been taught over for the past 3 months.
Okay, Francis, we lost you at some point.
Yeah.
We lost you at some point, but it's okay. I'll hand over to my colleague, Cecilia. She's in Lagos. Cecilia.
Yeah, Francis, I love what you talked about when you talked about the fact that, Nduka has been telling his own story to the players. We know what they did at the under-20 and under-17 level during their playing time. And, of course, not much support coming at that time, when it comes to Nigerian football. But this time around, you have these players having the best of support. They were supposed to go on a training tour before going to Algeria. But what really happened? Are they sad about this? Will it really affect them in any way going into the main tournament? Yes, we understand they are WAFU B champions.
Yes, they were looking forward to go to the training tour, but at the end of the day, when we discovered that the time frame for the training tour would not be too. It was too close to the tournament. It was too close. Every participating team must get to the tournament 24th of April. And you are going on a training tour, maybe 7 days, 6 days. The timing was short. And again, the logistics from German embassy, everything was not too favorable at that same time. So we decided that the NFF decided that we should just fly straight to Algeria. The players are not even really bothered. They just felt that they just want to have the opportunity to play for Nigeria. If it is in Germany where they're supposed to have played about 2-3 friendly games, no problem. But now we're in Algeria, they are looking forward to the experience. In this team, we have about 5 secondary school players. We have to talk about secondary school students in the team. We have 2 JSS3 students. I'm talking about JSS3. Charles Agada, who is an attacker, is in JSS3 in a school in Lagos State. Also, Caleb, what to say his name? Simon Cletus. Simon Cletus is the one that called Adam. He has natural dread from birth, a midfielder. He's also in JSS3. Isaac Andover is in SS1. We have Laiteke, who is in SS3. Then we have young boys who are very energetic, who are eager to learn. And boys that the kind of football they play, they don't get tired. The kind of football they play, they'll be telling the slogan is nobody, not even the nation can stop us. They have this kind of confidence. Not really that they are boastful. They're not being boastful. Just feel that the coach and the Gagbada has imparted so many things into them, so many knowledge, so many confidence into them, and they feel that this is time for them to show forth what they have been training about, what they've been taught in training over time, over a week, every week before we got to this before we go to this tournament here. So on Sunday, we are hoping that by the time they file out onto the pitch against Zambia, the under-17 team of Zambia, we're hoping that they will reenact all those things that they've been taught, all those things they've been taught in training, in matches, in friendly games. Before we left Abuja, the team played 12 friendly games, won 11, drew 1, scored 66 goals, and considered 14 goals. We're talking about having plus 52 goals difference. So it's a high scoring side. But whatever you have done in friendly games, in training sessions, nobody wants to give a damn or care about that. It is what you are going to bring to the game on Sunday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. That is when Nigerians will know how ready or how good you are. And that is what we've been telling them. We have, as I'm talking to you right now, we have a psychology class going on right now. Dr. Robinson Kosu is taking the boys on psychology of the game, how to react, even when the officiating is not really too good. When you felt maybe you're feeling cheated or it was not really fair on your part, just how to react, that the referee don't become too harsh on you. Those are the things that they are being taught right now in a lecture. So NFF has tried, they've really done well to, after even despite the fact that we did not go to the training tour, NFF have tried to give the boys, at least within their own resources, what is needed for the team to excel.
Yeah, I love the fact that they have a psychologist with them because, I mean, I was even on the 20 team. They didn't have anything like that, although psychologists spoke to them before they traveled. But when you have that psychologist with them, losing a game, of course, someone being able to give them that pep talk and, of course, pump them up. And I guess if you look at Nigeria's group, you have Zambia, you have Morocco, you have South Africa. That happens to be a group of death because you have the toughest countries playing football in Africa right now in that group. Chances of Nigeria getting out of that group. Yeah, if you talk about the goal difference, 52, 66 goals scored, conceded just 14. That's a high scoring side. But against a side like Morocco, South Africa, and of course Zambia, who are good in their fight. Can they, actually do this? There you have it, what I just talked about, the Golden Eaglets matches on Sunday. The first game against Zambia. Of course, the second game, May 3rd, is against Morocco, and the final game is against South Africa. How confident are you that they can actually, get out of this group and maybe win this? Because that's the charge the NFF has given to the team.
Well, of course, the team, the players are confident, the coaches are confident, but you're not just going to be overconfident, or you're not going to allow what they call complacency to set into you. The players knows what is at stake. They're not really under pressure. The coach will tell them, play your ball. He will tell them, Shiri. It makes them feel that football comes natural. You don't need to struggle. Even at a very difficult position in the half, maybe playing friendly games, tell them, start building up, do it like this. So I'm very confident that by the time we set out on Sunday against Zambia, I think Nigerians will see a glimpse. They will see the glimpses of what they're supposed to see. A glimpse of greatness, a glimpse of what they've been taught. That these players have been taught in training. That these players have been taught. They are young. They are eager to go. They are learning. I think Nigerians will see this Gold Eaglet making everybody smile. And we are not boasting. It's not that we are boasting. We are not boasting. Of course, we are playing against a side that has rich football culture in Africa. I was talking about Zambia. I was talking about a team that is not tiring. They have also energetic, athletic.
Yeah.
But we have what is at stake, and we know the strategy to deploy to make the players come out with their A game, that at the end of 90 minutes, it will be 3 points to Nigeria.
Right.
For me, it's an high-scoring side. If they will definitely create chances on Sunday.
All right.
And I hope that they will convert their chances. They will create chances. Within first 10 minutes, I'm sure this team will create clear goal-scoring opportunities, maybe 2 or 3. And we are hoping that they will convert them into goals.
All right. Francis, actually, want to thank you so much for finding time to actually join us this evening to talk about the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria. All the best to the team when they play their first game on Sunday against Zambia.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Good evening.
All right. Austin, let's quickly switch to the English Premier League, of course. Let's start off with,
I was waiting for, for us to come to my zone. Cecilia, what a story. It's getting interesting in that game between Tottenham and Manchester United. Tottenham just pulled one back through Pedro Porro, and so it's 2-1 now. But Newcastle, they're having an interesting time at Goodison Park. They lead 4-1 and putting more worries on Everton. While the relegation battle, it seems Bournemouth, they're taking themselves out of that region because they lead 1-0 at Southampton. If it ends that way, then Bournemouth will sit about 14th on the log, and that gives more problems to the likes of Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and of course Leicester City. But right here, we're still talking about what happened between Manchester City and Arsenal last night. And I told you, all I've been hearing from Arsenal fans when they talk about the league title now is mathematically we're still in it. But what a story. Celebrates this Manchester City team, Cecilia. Because people don't understand the sort of work ethics these guys have. And they showed it yesterday. They suppressed Arsenal. They were in control from start to finish. Pep Guardiola is a genius when it comes to this pressing game of a thing. And it made it look so easy. They needed to win, to apply pressure on Arsenal. And they did just that. Let's listen to the man who made everything happen. That's Pep Guardiola has been speaking after the match.
We played really good from the beginning until the end. I know against which opponent we played, and still they are top of the league. I know it can be naive for what I'm saying, but the reality is we are 2 points behind. Of course, we have 2 games in hand, but still they are there. But today is a day like we played really, really good to beat our rival. The past was Liverpool. This year was, since the day one, we saw the feeling in pre-season when he beat Chelsea 5-0 and then the other one 4-5-0. And in the beginning, we start 50 points in the first leg, have been our rival. And this season, unfortunately, we, in the bad moments, we were still there. And yeah, important is that we make a really good performance. But of course, the most important thing is our destiny is in our hands. So today winning Arsenal will be in their hands, and now it's in our hands. And when you arrive at the end of the season, when whatever happened, it doesn't matter. It's our performance. To win the games, it depends on us. The game belongs to them, so I didn't teach them how they find each other. So football, there are more natural things that happen than the people can expect. The manager were involved in that. So when at the end, so all the time, like Kevin has the ball, Erling knows that he can run and give it, and the opposite side as well. So it happened many times. So Kevin is a master of an assist with Erling or without Erling, and Erling has scored goals all the time with Kevin or without Kevin. But being together, of course, when the teams like they press so high and we regain that balls with the space behind, they are so dangerous, and we use it.
I totally agree with Pep Guardiola. Cecilia, I said they've got their destiny in their hands now. They needed to win, and they did just that convincingly with 2 more games to play. Should we just give them the title?
No, we can't give them the title because Mikel Arteta understands what it means at this time. He understands they still have more games to play, 5, and he needs to win it to stand a chance of winning the title, while also praying Manchester City will lose 2 games in that. So they still have the title right there, not in their hands, but then in the hands of God, you say. But let's listen to Mikel Arteta.
The better team won the game. They were probably at their best, especially in the first half, and we were nowhere near our level. And when that happens, the gap becomes too big, and in the first 30 minutes, all the basic things that you have to do against an exceptional team, in terms of competing, in terms of win doers, in terms of understanding what the game requires, we didn't do it, and we got punished, and we could have been punished even more. At the start of the season, that Arsenal was going to finish 6th or 7th, and we are where we are with 5 games to go. And those players deserve a lot of credit to be 9.5 months against this team being where we are, and it's still 5 games to play, 5. And I've been almost 22 years in this country. I've seen a lot of things, and I know how much it shifts from game to game. There are not 2 equal games in this league. And first of all, we have to lift our players because they suffered tonight, and they played against an exceptional team. They know that, but we are an exceptional team as well. But today we were in other races at the level that it was required to win the game.
Not at that level required to win the game. Man City were just unplayable on the night. When you have a striker who scored 49 goals in 43 games across all competitions, you understand what that means. So they can take a cue from what Giannis Antetokounmpo said earlier. I mean, when you lose, it's not a failure. I mean, you still have to, you're just building up your success. That's how it is, Austin. So we got to wrap up.
No, Arsenal fans don't want to hear that because they can't, some of the fans weren't born the last time Arsenal won the big title. And now you come so close and then you lose it. It's going to be so painful. But Arsenal should be proud of what they've achieved. For instance, you mentioned that Erling Haaland has scored 49 goals this season. Do you know that he has scored more goals than Chelsea this season? One player has scored more goals than a club. You know, some Chelsea fans, Frank Lampard said they need a magic wand to turn things around. So Arsenal should be proud of what they've achieved this season. I think that's where we can leave it for now. It's unfortunate. We would have loved to go on with the show. We're still monitoring what's going on in that game between Manchester United and Tottenham. It's still 2-1. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
And I know Chelsea fans obviously will not be happy because Frank Lampard is staying with them till the end of the season. 5 losses. Well, what a way. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Say good night, right?